Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, DCSPO 292. So, I want to dedicate this video to the senseless shooting of Sonia Massey. So, before I start this video, please, I want to send my prayers out to the Massey family who is definitely enduring a hardship at this time, knowing the circumstances around how their family member was uh, was shot and killed. So when you watch this video, please share with others and pray for the family of Sonia Massey that I know I can't even imagine. But send your prayers out on their behalf. So the recent shooting of Sonia Massey by a deputy sheriff in her own home was something that should have never, ever happened. As a police officer, you go through a series of training with less than lethal, lethal, or deadly force. And you also have training on how to escalate and de-escalate situations that are arising and can turn into something deadly. But also there's something called common sense as well. And that's something that is a natural ability for us to use in certain situations. Now, the officer that shot Miss Massey was an officer with a troubling past, from a discharge from the military to his termination from previous law enforcement agencies because of his conduct. And he was allowed to obtain, for the sixth time, allowed to be hired as a police officer. But the circumstances around his hiring was because his soon-to-be wife, which is now his fiance, father-in-law, put in a reference from him that he's a retired police officer. And because of the officer and his daughter dating, he decides that he wants to call in a favor. So he's hired for the sixth time as a police officer with warning signs and a troubling past, but still, nevertheless, he was hired. Now, from what I have been reading and keeping up with, the fiance of the police officer at one point had an encounter with Sonia Massey. And she took it upon herself to abuse her husband, who's supposed to protect and serve. She used him as a personal bodyguard service to strike fear into Miss Massey, who herself was going through mental health crisis. Now, to add insult to injury, And to get the ball rolling in motion, she was actually contacted previously the day before she was actually murdered. And I guess that set the ball rolling. It got the deputy sheriff um, into gear to use his or misuse his authority to protect and serve, to strike fear into Miss Sonia Massey. So, moving forward, he responds to a call, a 911 call, and took it upon himself to answer the call. Now, once arriving, he stated he patrolled her perimeter and there was nothing to fear. Now, once in the house, and if you see the video, you can watch the video for yourself. Just type in Sonia Massey and the video will pop up. If you just watch the actions of this law enforcement officer who is trained to protect and serve, he was less than a peace officer. He was a lawless enforcement officer because no laws did he enforce. During the encounter, Miss Massey informed the officers she was simply just going to remove a boiling pot from the stove. The other responding officers told Miss Massey, "That's fine, take the pot off the stove." But moments after she was given permission to make the officers feel safe, she told them what she was doing. She explained her actions. But seconds later, the other officer told her, "If you pick up the pan, I will blow your freaking head off." Because I don't want to use profanity. "I'm going to blow your freaking head off. Drop it." And before she even had a chance to drop the pot, this officer discharged his weapon. And I'm going to say it for what it is. He executed Sonia Massey by shooting her point blank in her head. And to add insult to injury, after he shot her in the head, refused to render any type of first aid or medical attention. So not only was he lawless, he was heartless. He has brought so much of a negative light on good law enforcement officers. If he felt that he was in danger by a pot of boiling water, that's when common sense should have kicked in, and he and his partner could have left her residence and avoided any further conflict. This was no less than a planned execution by a law enforcement officer. And I don't care how you try to spin it, there's no justification, there's no law that says you should be able to use your badge and gun as a means to become a hitman because of a personal vendetta of one of your family members or friends. And that's just what it is. I have watched the tape. I am a veteran. I have had law enforcement training. So I know the protocol. And he broke all protocol during his encounter. I pray that this senseless murder and execution does not go unpunished. Everybody involved needs to be held accountable. So, thank you guys for letting me share my input on this senseless execution and murder of Sonia Massey. It should have never, ever happened. But it has. And you guys, again, if you watch this video, please share it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Just share with everyone, because I definitely want to see justice on behalf of Sonia Massey and her family. All right? Thank you guys for listening to me. And I hope everyone has a blessed day. And to the Massey family, I send my prayers out to you and your family in this time of grieving. I love you guys. So does God.